This is News 8 Now this morning.
You know, a lot of these folks, a lot of these businesses they just need less government, not more government. Allow them to do what they're doing so great for us in southern Minnesota.
And unfortunately, the Joint Finance Committee had voted that down and it never made it into the budget. So now child care centers are being faced with the decision of how do they make up those funds.
This is something that she has the passion about, and she don't just talk about it, she'll actually put the effort in.
Good morning, everyone, and that was your morning eye opener. I'm Jeremy Wall in for Dua.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is August 15th, 2023. Derek, we are getting warmer, and I heard by this weekend we'll have another heat wave.
Yeah, we got a big heat wave here that we're watching, Jeremy. We could be jumping up as high as the 90s here, so we'll talk about that, and I'll let you know how long that could be lasting here over those next several days. But, you know, hey, at least for the rest of this work week, enjoy the seasonal temperatures that we have going on, including today. It's going to be a beautiful day out there. Right now this morning, just a few passing leftover clouds from what we were dealing with here overnight. Our current temperatures are in the 50, 60 degree ranges. We're seeing 55 Black River Falls. It's much cooler there in Sparta. You're actually the cool spot this morning right now on the map at 50, 62 degrees in La Crosse, and 59 right now in Winona. City Cam 8's off to a gorgeous start here this morning. Those clear skies that you see now are in the forecast throughout the rest of the day today. Lots of sunshine, temperatures into the 80s as we head into this afternoon with that southerly wind at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. A little bit gustier though as we head into late afternoon to early evening from a front moving in. In the meantime, your allergen report showing that the weed and mold are high, ragweed is medium. Everything goes to high for tomorrow. The ragweed pollen season is picking up now that we are seeing some drier conditions in the forecast over the next several days, but with the only exception of tonight, because we could be talking about some thunderstorms with this frontal boundary moving through. I'll talk about that in the full weather forecast in a few minutes. Jeremy?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. A Chippewa County armed robbery suspect is pleading not guilty to all counts. 23-year-old Elijah Johnson is charged with felony counts of armed robbery with use of force, substantial battery with intent to do body harm, and false imprisonment with use of a dangerous weapon. He is also charged with misdemeanor counts of criminal damage to property and theft. Johnson's lawyer says he's in the process of promising settlement negotiations, but is waiting on results from a state lab. 20-year-old Jeremiah Mackey and 18-year-old Solomon Ward have the same charges. According to the criminal complaint, the men broke into an apartment and Johnson whipped two victims with a pistol. Johnson has denied having a gun, but police found one while searching his apartment. Johnson remains out on bond. A hearing is set for November 7th. Traffic alert for your morning commute. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is reporting a crash on westbound I-90 just past Camp Douglas. The westbound right lane is currently closed due to the crash. We will have more information as it is made available. A heads up for drivers on La Crosse's north side. A major commuter road will be partially closed for the foreseeable future. Starting today, the intersection of La Crosse's Rose Street and Gillette Street will be partially closed. Crews will be repairing a storm drain. The right-hand lane going south on Rose will be affected. There's no word on how long the work will take. Another Democratic candidate has entered the race for Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district. Aaron Knights announced his campaign for Congress, planning to focus on social justice issues. The 25-year-old Knights is originally from Hartford, Wisconsin, and is a third-year student at Harvard Law. He earned his undergraduate degree at Marquette University. He'll take on Rebecca Cook for the Democratic nomination. Both are hoping to unseat Republican Derek Van Orden after his first term. Crawford County Emergency Management will get around $10,000 in grant money. The group received the grant from the Healthcare Emergency Readiness Coalition to enhance the capabilities of the department. The funds will go toward the purchase of Wisdom radio equipment. WISCOM is the statewide shared radio system for emergency services. The grant money is also used to buy medical bags that come with life-saving tools. Less is more. Minnesota's 1st District Congressman says businesses need more freedom to do what they do best for their communities. Republican Brad Finstead toured a La Crescent Quick Trip to learn how many farm products go into the business. Finstead is a farmer himself. He says he has a greater understanding of how interconnected local agriculture is to a business like Quick Trip. He says as Congress puts together the next farm bill, it's important for him to give businesses and farmers more flexibility with the products they make. One product top of mind is local fuel made with 15% ethanol.
Right now there's a waiver process that really puts businesses and farmers and states in limbo in regards to when they can sell ethanol related products. You know, a lot of these folks, a lot of these businesses just need less government, not more government. Allow them to do what they're doing so great for us in southern Minnesota.
The EPA prevents summertime ethanol 15 sales because of concerns it contributes to smog and hot weather. Research has shown that E15 may not increase smog more than 10% ethanol fuel, which is sold year-round. Child care deserts. 68% of rural Wisconsin families live in areas without enough licensed child care providers. And in Cashton, child care options just got even more scarce. Federal pandemic relief dollars helped get child care centers through the pandemic, but that money is going away. Daycare centers are now feeling the pinch. Cradles to Crayons in Cashton says it has to close its doors at the end of the month. According to a child care center owner, options for staying in business are limited.
And unfortunately, the Joint Finance Committee had voted that down and it never made it into the budget. So now child care centers are being faced with the decision of how do they make up those funds.
Child care providers have several options, such as reducing wages or raise their tuition. On top of budget concerns, staffing for child care facilities continues to be a crisis nationwide.
These people here are doing the best they can, but one of the ways they're doing it is to raise tuition, which at the end of the day isn't a solution.
Governor Tony Evers called a special session September 20th to address child care. He's calling for $365 million of the state's budget surplus to continue child care subsidized. But without support from the Wisconsin's Republican-controlled legislature, the effort may be lost. Evers says it's important for child care providers to stay open so people can continue in the workforce. Seniors serving students. Brookdale, Onalaska is hosting a back-to-school supply drive for the Onalaska School District. The drive is open now until this coming Sunday, August 20th. You can donate supplies to the Brookdale building. Food pickup at the Wafer Food Pantry just got more accessible. Starting today, Wafer is offering a drive-thru. It will be reserved for current members that are 60 and older, people with physical limitations, or with a staff member referral. Pickup will be Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 to noon. You must have a photo ID. For more information, head to news8000.com or our News 8000 app. Helping teens feel more comfortable behind the wheel. That's the goal of Gunderson Health System's Teen Car Control Clinic. Registration is now open for the clinic, which runs on Saturday, October 14th and Sunday, October 15th. The class is for teens age 16 to 19 who already have their license. A parent or guardian is also required to attend the class. The clinic will teach teens the fundamentals of vehicle control and improve awareness of hazards on the road. A UW La Crosse dorm building is getting millions for a makeover. Wentz Hall opened in 1964. Since then, there have been no major improvements on the building. Next year, it will be closed during the 2024 spring and summer semesters to get a $3 million renovation. The improvements include a new fire alarm system and 88 accessible bathrooms. It's the honor of a lifetime. Viterbo University announced the recipients of the 2023 St. John the 13th Award for Distinguished Service. This award is the highest non-academic award Viterbo University has. People chosen have made large contributions to education, business, and philanthropy. All three people have a long history of helping others and community service. A banquet and ceremony will be in September. The Cooley Region Humane Society is hosting an adopt-a-thon throughout the month of August. This year's theme is Adopt Me, Take Me to My Dream House. You can name your own adoption of $5 or more. There are over 150 adoptable pets that are looking for a new home. To see all the animals available for adoption, go to CooleyHumane.com. Still ahead on your morning news, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is announcing new guidelines on consumer data selling. And traveling with Fido may be a little better. We will take a look at what some hotels are offering to help pamper your pets. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? Harrison Ford's character Indiana Jones famously can't stand snakes. Now, in honor of it, the actor has a species of a snake named after him. The species, which scientists discovered in Peru last year, is called Tachymonoides. It inhabits the Andes Mountains. Scientists say they named the species after Ford in recognition of his lifelong environmental advocacy. The actor also has a species of spiders and of a spider and ant named after him.
Just a few high-level clouds that moved through the Coulee region late last night, but then after that, they have cleared out. So now we're looking at mostly clear skies with temperature readings into the 50s and 60s. 60 in Eau Claire now, 62 is the temperature in La Crosse. We're looking at the 40s still, though, in Sparta. You're much colder at 49. Black River Falls at 55. Winona's currently at 59 degrees. Now, for your zone forecast today, I'm expecting that our highs will be a little bit more on the seasonable side this afternoon, rising up into the mid-80s today. 85 West Salem and a high of 86 in La Crosse and Onalaska. 81 today in Viroqua with a high of 84 in Soldiers Grove, 86 in La Crescent, 85 in Stoddard, and also into New Albin. Walk-on looking at a high of 81. Our central zones mid-80s here today. That high of 84 in Sparta there, 85 in Trempealeau, 85 in Blair, and a high of 85 as well. Black River Falls and north in Osseo. Into the Chippewa Valley, looking at highs into around the 86-degree range for areas like Eau Claire here today. So for your dog walking conditions, we got clear skies this morning. A little cool though, and some spots turning clear and sunny as we head to this afternoon. Breezy weather conditions here at the same time as well here for those walks. And as we head into this evening, mostly sunny skies. I'll have a check on your weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. We'll talk about this cold front that could bring us some thunderstorms.
Thanks, Derek. In your consumer news this morning, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau plans to establish new guidelines for companies that sell consumer data. Specifically, the watchdog intends to expand regulations and bar companies from sharing income and payment history. The new rules are designed to safeguard millions of Americans from data breaches, criminals, and AI chatbots. Last year, the Federal Trade Commission also expanded regulations governing data collection and sharing. Hotel chain Hilton is bringing back automatic daily housekeeping. The company was one of a number of hotels that changed up its housekeeping policies in response to the pandemic. Now that travel restrictions have eased and tourism numbers are on the rebound, housekeeping services are returning to normal. Hilton says that automatic housekeeping at its luxury brands and Embassy Suites will resume worldwide starting this fall. Traveling with Fido has become much more common since the pandemic. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York on how hotels are giving more pet perks.
Let's go. Norman and Stanley recently checked into Lowe's Hollywood Hotel in Los Angeles, luxuriating in views of the Hollywood Hills, new doggy bowls, and other hotel gifts.
We've had dog room service. And everybody has just been very welcoming for the dogs. They've been treated like royalty.
The brand offers the same VIP treatment across all of its hotels through its Lowe's Loves Pets program.
They'll be treated like you will be treated, like a superstar.
A recent survey found 78% of pet owners got animals during the pandemic, and another survey shows 55% plan to travel with them. Just down the road at the Kimpton Everly Hollywood, one of the hotels where we stayed for a special rate, pets get their own plush bed, colorful cookies, and a dog curry to toast along with their people.
Dog, cat, hamster, guinea pig, a peacock, whatever it is, they're welcomed here.
There are also plenty of pet-friendly options on the East Coast, like Crowne Plaza HY36 in New York City, which has large rooms for animals to run around, and pup packages at check-in that include gourmet treats and a MetroCard squeak toy.
Hello, Artemis.
Yvonne Wonder is taking advantage of the spike in pet travel with her national pet and child sitting business, Destination Sitters.
Our business is booming. I mean, there are so many more pet-friendly hotels.
Ready to make sure your pet gets an escape from that dog-eat-dog world.
At hotels that are not so pet-friendly, the pet app Rover finds about 10% of travelers have tried to sneak in their furry friend by hiding them in their luggage. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and today's forecast. Derek.
All right, thanks for that, Jeremy. We are looking at clear skies this morning from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Off to a nice start there this morning, too. 62 is the temperature currently in La Crosse with south-southeast winds light at around 7 miles an hour. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, we're currently at 60, mostly clear. South winds at 6 miles an hour for us to work with this morning. We did see a few high-level clouds move in across the area from the northwest overnight, but since then they have cleared out, and now we're looking crystal clear with temperatures mainly into the 50s and 60s as you head out the door this morning. 62 degrees will be the temperature at 7, followed by 79 and sunny by noon today. Sunny skies, 85 by 4, and then partly cloudy and a bit on the windy side as well as we head into early this evening. And that is because we're tracking a cold front that is going to give us some windy conditions, maybe even some storms, which we'll get to here in a second. Our forecast high temperatures today much more seasonable here, with highs expected to reach the mid-80s this afternoon. So you can see we do have that southerly wind profile today. That is going to pick up our temperatures a little bit here this afternoon, out ahead of this cold front that I'm watching, and it's forecast to move into the area as we head into tonight. And out ahead of it, we could be watching some gusty showers and thunderstorms moving through, and some of them turning strong, not only with some gusty winds, but with some heavy rainfall, maybe even some small hail with some of those storms as they move through around 10 o'clock tonight. And then as we head into early tomorrow morning, those thunderstorms are long gone. By 6 a.m. tomorrow, we're looking at clear skies and a little cooler behind the front as well, not just for tomorrow morning, but also in general for tomorrow afternoon too. And as we head into tomorrow night, we are watching high pressure that's going to move in, help give us some clear skies for us to work with tomorrow night, and also through the day on Friday. I'm expecting a mainly clear day thanks to high pressure in control of our weather. Now, this area of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere is going to turn pretty strong, and as a matter of fact, it's going to get pretty hot again across the southern plains and across the deep south with this high pressure system. Why is that important? Well, it is forecast to move into the upper Midwest, into our general direction. So therefore, we're going to experience a bit of a heat wave effect from this system as we head into this weekend and also into next week. In fact, you'll see it here on the 8-day forecast. Highs are going to climb into the 90s here this weekend. And in fact, Sunday could be the hottest day with a high of 98, at least for the early indications. We'll watch out for that. But as we head into next week, we're going to be turning cloudy, but still temperatures looking hot as well, with highs still into the 90s and low temperatures mainly into the 60s to low 70s. Stay with us, though. We're back with much more news and weather. So to come on News 8 Now this morning. We're taking a quick break with a look what happened on this day in history for August 16th. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. We're just about 36 hours away from week 1 of the high school football season. The Riverhawks are one of the few area teams that gets to kick off the regular season on Thursday night. The Central Boys were back to work on Tuesday afternoon as opening night inches closer and closer. The Riverhawks opened the season last year with a win on the road over Eau Claire North. This year, Central gets to play in front of the home fans for its week 1 matchup against the Huskies. For head coach Mitch Olson, every day and every practice is another chance to keep getting better and fine-tuning all the details necessary to be a successful football team. But when it comes to truly feeling ready for week 1, he says not being satisfied is actually a good thing.
I think that part of always feeling like there's more you have to do, it just gives you a sense of urgency, and you need that in order to be successful. And in order for us to be a good team, we need urgency throughout our coaching staff and all of our players. And that's been here. So if we felt comfortable right now, that would probably make me feel even less comfortable.
It all goes down tomorrow night. Olson and the Riverhawks kick off the regular season at home on the UWL campus against Eau Claire North. Let's go to St. Cloud. Loggers and Rocks for the Great Plains Championship. Lacrosse down a run in the 7th. This one's going to find the gap, and that clears the bases. 3 runs come in to score. St. Cloud takes a 4-run lead. But the Loggers have some heart. Top 8, here they come. Mick Paul is going to go back up the box. That's a base hit. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Big time hit from Paul. Gets Lacrosse within 2, but they were not done. Still in the 8th. 2 on for Isaac Nett. He's got the same idea. He goes up the middle for a base hit. That's going to score another. Nett makes it a 1-run game at 7-6. Then it's the guy who's been doing it all season long, Ben Ziegler-Namoa. Runners on the corners, he chops one in a right. That's gonna tie the game. RBI single, he's pumped. We're all tied at 7. Then it's Aiden Sweat in the 9th, putting the Loggers on top. He lines a base hit in the left. Ethan Fry comes in to score. Clutch hit from Sweat, he puts the Loggers on top, 8-7, but it was short-lived. The Rocks tie the game on a sac fly in the bottom of the inning, and this fly ball is gonna find some green grass out in center. That's gonna do it. St. Cloud walks it off in the 9th. Loggers lose a heartbreaker, 9-8 the final. A magical season for lacrosse, but it comes to an end in St. Cloud as the Loggers come up just short in the Great Plains Championship game. That's gonna do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
This morning, we're hearing from former President Trump after the latest set of criminal charges connected to his alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Georgia. CBS's Jared Hill has the response and a look at what happens next in the case.
On the heels of his 4th criminal indictment,
justice and the rule of law are officially dead in America.
Former President Donald Trump lashing out as prosecutors allege he and 18 others conspired to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Georgia.
Rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise.
According to the indictment, the scheme ranged from phone calls to elected officials to visits with election workers and started within days of the 2020 vote.
Some of those acts may seem quite innocent in and of themselves, but they are each steps, according to the prosecutor, to show a pattern of activity that is, in fact, composed of ultimately of crimes.
On Truth Social, Trump promised new evidence to back up his claim the election was rigged. Georgia's Republican governor, Brian Kemp, tweeted back, the 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. The legal pileup comes days before the first GOP primary debate for 2024, as Trump weighs whether he'll show.
Donald Trump should withdraw from the race because of what he is facing.
We see the legal system being weaponized against political opponents. That is un-American and unacceptable.
The 19 defendants have until next Friday to turn themselves in.
Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has petitioned to move the case to federal court because it involves his work as a federal employee. His attorneys are also pushing to dismiss the charges, saying nothing he's alleged to have done in the indictment is criminal. The death toll in Maui is now 106. That's according to a press release from Maui County. The announcement comes as Hawaii Governor Josh Green said that this search and rescue operation is only 27% completed. Officials expect most of the burn area is to be searched by this weekend. Governor Green also announced that the key road that connects all of Maui will be reopened soon to help area residents begin to recover from the disaster. And if you'd like to donate to the Red Cross's response in Hawaii, you could go on their website or call 1-800-4357-669. The drought in Minnesota continues to affect farmers. Climatologists say the state is trending better than average for the month of August. They say anytime it rains, grass plants and trees will always benefit first. But more rain is needed to make an impact on low water levels for lakes and streams.
Once we saturate the ground, then it can go into lakes and streams. We're seeing a tiny little bump up, like Lake Minnetonka went up about 1/10 of a foot. White Bear Lake went up about 1/10 of a foot. Area streams went up a little bit, but we haven't seen a huge recovery there yet because the moisture goes into the ground first. So we need more rain like this.
Experts also say while there should be some improvement in the next drought update that comes out Thursday, the state is expecting a heat wave which can easily set farmers back and worsen the drought. Well, it's time to prepare for Minnesota prairie chicken season. Registration has opened for the 9-day season. There are 125 permits available for the 2023 prairie chicken hunting season. Everyone who registers is entered into a lottery to be chosen for one of the permits. The hunt is open to Minnesota residents only. It will take place in northwestern Minnesota from St. Hilaire south to Breckenridge. Registration closes August 18th. For more details, you can go to the Minnesota DNR's website. North Korea's government has confirmed they have the U.S. soldier who ran across the border last month. Pyongyang issued a statement to a state-run news agency saying Private Travis King crossed into its territory. The agency reports King claims he entered North Korea due to ill feelings against mistreatment and racial discrimination in the U.S. Army. It is known that King crossed the military demarcation line from South Korea in July. North Korea claims he admits doing so was illegal. The Defense Department has not commented on the matter. Hunters with disabilities can now register for fall gun deer season. The hunt will run October 7th through the 15th. Sponsors have made thousands of acres of land available for this year's hunt. Hunters or assistants should contact sponsors directly to sign up for a hunt. You need to register by September 15th. More information on how to sign up will be available on the News 8000 app and our website in news8000.com. President Biden was in Milwaukee for his latest stop on the administration's Bidenomics tour. The president toured an in-Gunteen factory with Governor Tony Evers and Senator Tammy Baldwin. The president then spoke about how Bidenomics has affected Wisconsin as well as the nation by referencing the state's low unemployment rate.
And unemployment has been below 4% for the longest stretch in over 50 years. 50 years. Wisconsin's unemployment rate is just 2.5%. That's lower than it was every single month the prior administration. We've recovered all the jobs lost during the pandemic.
The president also said that just shy of 500 federal personnel have been sent to Maui and that both he and the First Lady plan to travel to Hawaii soon. Biden's visit comes about a week before the first GOP presidential primary debate in Milwaukee. Calling all cranberry lovers, the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association is expected to harvest 4.97 million barrels of cranberries this year. That's based on projections made by the U.S. Cranberry Marketing Committee. Those barrels would make up about 60% of the nation's supply. If the harvest matches the projections, this would be the 29th year that Wisconsin leads the nation in cranberry production. The executive director of the WSCGA says cranberry production generates $1 billion in economic impact and thousands of local jobs. An 11-year-old chef in Milwaukee is drawing hungry crowds at her pop-up drive-through business. Taliel Moeldin has her inspiring story.
Fried chicken, yams, greens, macaroni.
This young chef has been up since 6 in the morning, displaying confidence in the kitchen well beyond her years. But if you ask her,
it feels normal.
11-year-old Raquel Boyd, professionally known as Chef Kisses, is getting ready to serve dozens of people eager to try her food.
I wanted to cook and show everybody else how I cook.
This will be Chef Kisses' second pop-up drive-through, but she's been in the kitchen for a lot longer than that.
When I was 5, my dad and my mom gave me a deep fryer.
This is something that she has a passion about. And she don't just talk about it, she'll actually put the effort in.
And when Raquel came to her parents with the idea, their first instinct was
to encourage her, to back her up with whatever plan that she had.
And their support comes with more than just help with setup, acting as investors, and more importantly, helping her learn what it takes to run a business.
So we sponsored the first one, and she took literally the second one, everything that came from her menu to her balloons to her flyers, she paid for all of it.
Getting her one step closer to her dream of running her own restaurant, maybe even a Michelin star. As for her favorite part about the job,
eating the food, see what it tastes like.
Which happens to be mine too.
That's good. That is so good. Made by an 11-year-old.
Raquel's food is so popular, customers have reported waiting 2 hours to try her food. All right, let's send it over to Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute. Derek.
All right, thanks for that, Jeremy. We are looking at mostly clear weather conditions right now on our satellite and radar picture, showing just a few high-level clouds that continue to push through. We are looking at current temperatures into the 50s and 60s. As you head outside, we're seeing 59 in Winona, 62 is the temperature now in La Crosse, 60 in Eau Claire, 49 though. The cold spot remains Sparta right now. Black River Falls at 54, Viroqua's at 58 degrees, Decorah is at 59. And for your forecast overall today, we turn partly cloudy, temperatures at 86 degrees, seasonable, south-southwest winds breezy at 15 to 25 miles an hour. We're going to increase the wind speeds tonight out ahead of a cold front moving through, and that front could also give us a chance of scattered thunderstorms along with some of those gusty winds. Temperatures at around 64 degrees. We'll talk about this coming up a little bit in the full weather forecast in a few minutes, but first I do want to show you your mowing conditions today. 65 to start at 8 o'clock. By noon, lots of sun, 79 degrees, and by 5 o'clock, mostly sunny skies still. Temperatures at 86, so probably mow the lawn a little bit earlier in the day if you can before it gets too warm. But I'll have a final check on your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. We'll talk about that and plus some of the rain chances that we could see tonight. Also coming up in our Buzz Report, Michael Oher, the football player depicted in The Blind Side, is suing the family that took him in. News 8 looks at the controversy. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, it sure is a beautiful start here from CityCam 8 in downtown La Crosse. You can see that gorgeous glow there from the sunrise here overhead. Temperatures are currently at a comfortable 62 degrees with sunshine now in La Crosse. As we head a little bit towards the north in Eau Claire in the Chippewa Valley, you're currently at 60 degrees under mostly clear skies. Wind speeds are light south at 6 miles an hour. A few level high clouds did move through the portions of the Coulee region area as we head into those overnight hours. They have since cleared out now. Temperatures are currently into the 50s and 60s. Sparta still remains the cold spot this morning now. The current temperature reading for you at 49. Here's a check on your planner. Overall 62 degrees with sunshine at 7. Sunny conditions 79 degrees at noon today, and then by 4 skies continue to remain clear. Temperatures at 85, partly cloudy and a bit on the windy side as we head into early this evening. That's actually from a cold front that's forecast to move into the area tonight, which we'll get to here in a second. Much more seasonable this afternoon though, as forecast high temperatures will climb into the mid 80s here today. So you can see we will be dealing with that southerly wind out ahead of this cold front that's forecast to move into the area again as we head into tonight. Out ahead of this cold front, we could be looking at a line of showers and strong thunderstorms moving through, and some of those thunderstorms could produce some gusty winds, maybe even some small hail and some heavy rainfall as they move through the Coulee region here late tonight and then clearing out of here as we head into early tomorrow morning. In fact, by 6 a.m. they're long gone tomorrow morning with clear skies and a little bit of some cooler temperatures to work with as well behind this cold front moving through. Now as we take you into tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at mostly clear weather conditions. High pressure is going to start to build in, especially by tomorrow night, to help reinforce the clear skies and dry weather conditions overall. By Friday, we are expecting the clear weather to continue and overall some pretty dry weather conditions at the same time with this high pressure system overhead. Now, speaking of high pressure, we're also tracking it in the upper levels of the atmosphere. In fact, there's going to be a pretty strong heat dome with this high that's going to be building across the southern plains first as we head into the end of the work week on Friday. They're expected to see some very hot temperatures associated with this system, but it's important for us because it's going to start to move in our general direction in the Midwest. That's going to help fuel those temperatures to bump them up into the 90s as we head into this weekend and also as we head into next week. In fact, Sunday could be the hottest day with a high of 98 degrees, so we'll watch that closely. But other than that, enjoy the rest of these next few days before this heat wave arrives here this weekend and next week.
In our morning Buzz Report, rapper Jay-Z is making the library feel like a party. To celebrate hip-hop's 50th birthday, the Brooklyn Public Library released 13 limited edition library cards with artwork from the rapper's albums. According to the library, the new cards have generated 14,000 new library accounts. The Jay-Z themed cards are free to all residents of the Empire State. The rapper, who is married to singer Beyonce, grew up in Brooklyn. He's often associated with his home city.
Before I moved in with the family, I was an All-American. That's what I want the generations behind me to see in this book right here, to understand that you don't have to have someone save you and rescue you to go out and be successful.
Former NFL and college football player Michael Oher is suing the family that took him in as a teenager. Oher's relationship with the Tuohy family is the basis for the 2009 film The Blind Side, starring Sandra Bullock. The lawsuit alleges that Oher was tricked into signing a conservationship that gave the family legal authority to make business deals in his name. He claims the Tuohys made millions from his story and did not share the money with him. Oher is asking a Tennessee court to end the conservatorship. The Tuohy family has denied Oher's allegations and says that he tried to shake them down for $15 million in exchange for not going to the press. Hollywood star Zoe Deschanel and Property Brothers host Jonathan Scott have made it official. The couple announced the engagement together on Instagram. Scott proposed to Deschanel during a trip to Scotland, popping the question that at Edinburgh Castle. Deschanel and Scott met while filming an episode of Carpool Karaoke in 2019. The union will be Scott's second marriage and Deschanel's third. Derek, are you a fan of Jay-Z?
I do. His music is really good, so yes.
I'm jealous of people in the Empire State who get to have those library cards. I'd love to have one
true too.
with his face on there. What about, have you seen The Blind Side?
I've seen The Blind Side. That was a good movie. However, definitely a bit of a surprise, you know, what's happening here with the allegations or, you know, so we'll see how this all kind of unfolds in the future.
I remember watching that movie in theaters. What about Property Brothers? Have you seen that show?
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I have a family that watches that. But are you a fan of Bradley Cooper?
What's that?
So are you a fan of Bradley Cooper?
Bradley Cooper, yes, he's good too.
I love him too.
Yeah.
All right, before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody celebrating their birthday today, but if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we love to feature them.
That's right, just upload their photo to our website, it's news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us, we have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Traffic alert for your morning commute. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation is reporting a crash on westbound I-90 just past Camp Douglas. The westbound right lane is currently closed due to the crash. We will have more information as it is available. A Chippewa County armed robbery suspect is pleading not guilty to all counts. 23-year-old Elijah Johnson is charged with felony counts of armed robbery with use of force, substantial battery with intent to do body harm, and false imprisonment with use of a dangerous weapon. He's also charged with misdemeanor counts of criminal damage to property and theft. Johnson's lawyer says he's in the process of promising settlement negotiations, but is waiting on results from the state lab. 20-year-old Jeremiah Mackey and 18-year-old Solomon Ward have the same charges. According to the criminal complaint, the men broke into an apartment and Johnson with 2 victims with a pistol. Johnson has denied having a gun, but police found one while searching his apartment. Johnson remains out on bond. A hearing is set for November 7th. A heads up for drivers on La Crosse's north side. A major commuter rail will be partially closed for the foreseeable future. Starting today, the intersection of La Crosse's Rose Street and Gillette Street will be partially closed. Crews will be repairing a storm drain. The right-hand lane going south on Rose will be affected. There's no word on how long the work will take. Another Democratic candidate has entered the race for Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district. Aaron Knights announced his campaign for Congress, planning to focus on social justice issues. The 25-year-old Knights is originally from Hartford, Wisconsin, and is a third-year student at Harvard Law. He earned his undergraduate degree at Marquette University. He'll take on Rebecca Cook for the Democratic nomination. Both are hoping to unseat Republican Derek Van Orden after his first term. Crawford County Emergency Management will get around $10,000 in grant money. The group received a grant from the Health Care Emergency Readiness Coalition to enhance the capabilities of the department. The funds will go toward the purchase of Wiscom radio equipment. Wiscom is the statewide shared radio system for emergency services. The grant money is also used to buy medical bags that come with life-saving tools. Less is more. Minnesota's 1st District Congressman says businesses need more freedom to do what they do best for their communities. Republican Brad Finstad toured a La Crescent Quick Trip to learn how many farm products go into the business. Finstad is a farmer himself. He says he has a greater understanding of how interconnected local agriculture is to a business like Quick Trip. He says as Congress puts together the next farm bill, it's important for him to give businesses and farmers more flexibility with the products they make. One product top of mind is local fuel made with 15% ethanol.
Right now there's a waiver process that really puts businesses and farmers and states in limbo in regards to when they can sell ethanol related products. You know, a lot of these folks, a lot of these businesses just need less government, not more government. Allow them to do what they're doing so great for us in southern Minnesota.
The EPA prevents summertime ethanol 15 sales because of concerns it contributes to smog in hot weather. Research has shown that E15 may not increase smog more than 10%. Ethanol fuel, which is sold year-round. It's time to prepare for Minnesota prairie chicken season. Registration has opened for the 9-day season. There are 125 permits available for the 2023 prairie chicken hunting season. Everyone who registers is entered into a lottery to be chosen for one of the permits. The hunt is open to Minnesota residents only. It will take place in northwestern Minnesota from St. Hilaire south to Breckenridge. Registration closes August 8th. For more details, you can go to the Minnesota DNR's website. Hunters with disabilities can now register for fall gun deer season. The hunt will run October 7th through the 15th. Sponsors have made thousands of acres of land available for this year's hunt. Hunters or assistants should contact sponsors directly to sign up for a hunt. You need to register by September 15th. More information on how to sign up will be available on the News 8000 app and our News 8000 website. A UW lacrosse dorm building is getting millions for a makeover. Wentz Hall opened in 1964. Since then, there have been no major improvements on the building. Next year, it will be closed during the 2024 spring and summer semesters to get a $3 million renovation. The improvements include a new fire alarm system and ADA accessible bathrooms. The Cooley Region Humane Society is hosting an adopt-a-thon throughout the month of August. This year's theme is Adopt Me, Take Me to My Dream House. You can name your own adoption of $5 or more. There are over 150 adoptable pets that are looking for a new home. To see all the animals available for adoption, go to CooleyHumane.com.
As you head out the door this morning, temperatures are into the 60s under clear skies. We are going to be warming up into the 70s by 11 o'clock, followed by the 80s as we head into this afternoon. Under mainly sunny skies and also a bit of a breeze here out of the south-southwest at 15 to 20, but we'll increase those winds to 15 to 25 as we head into tonight as this cold front moves through, and we could be watching some storms with this cold front moving through tonight. Now, behind the front tomorrow, it's going to be cooler, and the same could be said here for Friday with highs into the upper 70s to low 80s. But we're going to significantly warm up here this weekend and also next week as highs climb into the 90s. So definitely feeling more like a heat wave here coming up.
I'll take it. I love a good heat wave, especially as summer winds down, and maybe we'll see one in September as well.
Yeah, I hope not. It's a little hot though with the 90s up here. So
I'll take 90 anytime. Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com, and we'll have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a great day.